What's up, guys? My name is Mitchell. Welcome to my channel. I'm here with my buddy Tim, and we are in the infamous Quest Haven Lodge. We had planned to be in New Jersey hunting bears right now. We gave that a shot this week. It didn't end up working out. This was a last-minute thing. Tim's been up here before. He had some connections up here at the lodge. He made a quick phone call, and they were able to get us in for a last-minute hunt for him towards the very end of their season. We're able to shoot this video in this wonderful lodge because their season's essentially over. They got a couple more guests booked, but we actually have this whole lodge and whole facility to ourselves. So wanted to do a quick video, especially with this very scenic, very nice backdrop. Just him and I kind of talking about his experiences. This is the third time he's been up here, and then my experience having been here for 2 days as an observer. I didn't get to hunt, but I had a great time while I was up here, and so just kind of wanted to talk to you guys about what to expect, kind of what they're about, and just our perspective, having been a client of theirs, and kind of what this place is about. So, Tim?
I'll tell you, if you've looked into any type of high fence operation, if you've done any research at all, you're going to find Quest Haven. They have the current world record non-typical. They got the current world record typical buck that's been killed here. And if you look at kind of like their history, the longevity of it, that's not a one-hit wonder. These guys are consistently breeding, and their genetics here are incredible. I mean, I think it's the top 12. If you look at the SCI top 12 bucks killed in the world, they've all come out of this place.
It's unbelievable, and you might be watching this video having seen, the recent world record that just came out a couple of weeks ago from this very property that we're sitting at, 1,012 total inches gross.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's absolutely insane.
Nuts.
What they're able to do, and I mean, this is just some of the bucks that they've done. They have elk here. They've got some different sheep.
Yeah, they brought in some exotic sheep. I don't know everything they've got. They've got mouflons. They've got Texas doll sheep. They've got some other exotic sheep that they have at their properties. One of the cool things about this place, though, is it's pretty versatile. There's a lot of variety in what you're able to do when you hunt here. Like I said, it's been my third time here,
Yep.
and every time it's been different. It's not the same old. And they've got 3 different properties. They've got the lodge property here that we're at, that they've got places to hunt here. They've got another place on a mountain called Switchback. And then they've got another property about 30 minutes from here, Madeira.
That property is absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah.
We were there today. That's where you shot your buck.
Yep.
I've never been to a high fence operation, and they recently posted that buck, and there's been a lot of people online who are just posting a lot of the internet's full of hate, full of people who, are keyboard warriors, and they love to run down a high fence operation. And one of the stigmas that any high fence operation has to overcome is this pin raised deer that you have attached to a post, and then somebody pays big money to come and shoot this deer out of a pen. And one of the things that I was not really surprised by, having talked to you, but just kind of impressed with, is just how big these different properties are, and how we had a day and a half spur of the moment to get this hunt in, and we were really hunting hard, working, trying to find a deer, because these deer are not tied to a pen. These pens are not very small. These are large tracts of property with mountains and valleys, and these are essentially wild deer on these larger tracts. They've just fenced it to control their variables.
Yeah. It's they're not small. These properties are several hundred acres apiece, and a couple of them, Switchback and especially Madeira, they're kind of gnarly. They're not easy hunts. They're not. It's not, looking at a field. There's some pretty good elevation changes there. There's some cliffs, and you've got to work for it. And to your point about the deer, being tied to a pole, or people have this idea of, I'm going to walk into a pen and shoot a deer. yeah, I think you saw, like, if they see you, if they smell you, if they hear you, they're gone.
Oh, I walked outside. There's deer right outside the lodge right here. As soon as I stepped outside, standing up, they blew
Yeah.
and took off. We crested a hilltop, and there were deer 550 yards away, and they looked up, saw a skyline, and they took off.
Yeah, that was crazy. That one surprised me. I figured we were okay as far away as we were today, but yeah, they got out of there.
Yeah, and you know it was not like that at all. Now we sat in some box blinds. It got super cold while we were here. It was really gnarly, nasty, and hot in New Jersey. But we got here, temperatures plummeted down into the teens, and we had some snow. And they do have some really nice box blinds.
Yeah.
Really nice. They're like windproof, soundproof. They're really good. We actually took a heater this morning. Again, some people will say, oh, luxury and comfort, but nobody wants to be miserable, And this morning with the wind blowing 30 miles an hour and 19 degrees, I can embrace the suck as much as anybody, but I dang sure was happy we had a heater.
that heater paid for itself this morning. It was brutal. So yeah, no, it's nice, and I tell you, I don't know. The accommodations when you're in the stand are nice. The accommodations when you're not in the stand are nice. This lodge obviously is beautiful where we're sitting now, and but then the people here, I tell you, when I've described it to you in the past and other folks that I've talked to about my experiences here, it's the deer are awesome, no doubt. Obviously.
World class
deer. Like
there's nobody in the country doing it as well as they do. They've got their finger on the pulse.
They've figured some stuff out here, and so the deer are awesome, but there are awesome deer at a lot of places. I think that the thing that makes this place different is the people who are running it, the family, the Walk family. It's interesting. It's a bunch of it's a father and mother, and they've got several sons, and all of the sons are guides here. They all guide. Now they've got grandkids in the mix that are guiding.
Hayden was our guide
Hayden
this week.
He did a phenomenal job.
Fantastic job.
Yeah, great job. And it's just it's an awesome environment. When you come here, you feel like part of their family. They're a huge family. They've got a lot of folks in their family, and when you come here, they kind of embrace you and you feel like it. So,
yeah, I've only known them a day and a half, and they're really special people. You're a follower of Christ. I'm a follower of Christ. This entire lodge is just full of biblical scriptures and just peaceful blessings and messaging, and they're very, very humble people. To have the clout in this industry, in this niche thing of whitetail deer, to have the track record that they have, and to just sit there at dinner with them and to talk to them and to be as humble as they are and personable as they are was really, really impressive to me. I didn't know them. They welcomed me in, tagging along with you. They fixed a plate for me, gave me a spare bedroom, and they're just a really cool family. Hayden was awesome, very humble, very down to earth, knowledgeable, and that's a direct reflection of the men that have raised him here in this industry.
Yeah. It's just like anything, though, right? Like anything in life, I think there are people who do it well, and then there are people who don't and create a stigma. And high fence operations. There are people out there that they'll throw you in a 5 or 10 acre pen, and where they've got 5 deer in there, and they know exactly which one you're going to shoot, and that's is what it is. And for some people, that's great. That's what you want to do. That's I'm not gonna judge anybody or hate on anybody for that. That's more power to you. But I don't necessarily think that you can put everybody in that silo. Like there are people doing it differently, and what they've figured out here is a way to do it right. They treat their clients like family. the accommodations are great, and then when you come here, the deer are incredible. What you're going to see is insane.
Yeah, their genetics and their feed schedule, and they've cracked the code on breeding massive world-class whitetail. Now, that does come, with a cost. This is not the, least expensive place that you can go, but I do feel like the accommodations that they have here, the environment they have here, there's very few places in the country you can go and shoot. I mean, we saw 5 in one stand in one afternoon, deer like these on the wall.
Yeah.
I mean, world-class record style deer.
It's incredible. It's
And
incredible.
that's the value add is they make great deer. That's great, but they have them here year after year after year. There's no guarantee that you're going to shoot this specific one. You could come here having looked at their Facebook or maybe their Instagram or something like that and seen a buck that you like, and you could hunt here for a week and there's no guarantee that you'd get a shot at them. Now there would be other comparable deer, kind of in that category, in that size, maybe some of those same features that you're looking for, and you might get lucky and you might get that deer, but there's no guarantee. You're actually hunting. We were scrambling this afternoon. We're leaving tomorrow, and we were scrambling this afternoon.
We had to get it done this afternoon. There is no tomorrow for us. We've got to get back home to the family. But Hayden did a great job. He did it. He put us on them, and we're able to locate a buck that fit the criteria that we were looking for, and
Yep.
Got it done this afternoon. So yeah, it's your first time being to anything like this.
Yeah.
Your first time seeing this size of deer on the hoof. What's your first impression of a high fenced operation? What's your first impression of seeing deer like this? We've already kind of talked about the Walk family and how gracious they are, but just in general, running an operation like this, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, so I can just tell that it's so much more work than even what I expected. So okay, you have somebody who's wealthy, they throw some fencing up, they pay a lot of money for some semen straws or something like that, they bring in some deer from another state and they throw them in here and then they build a lodge and all of a sudden, boom, you've got a world-class, expensive hunting operation. And I don't believe that that's how that happened. Talking to them, they started small on this one piece here. They built it over 25 years. This is their legacy, but it's a business. It's a farm. They get high fence operations, not this one specifically, but in general, they get so much hate and vitriol online for the service that they provide. But it's a very niche thing in this market that has a lot of clients who are willing to come and pay for quality deer. But even talking to Hayden, he guides during the wintertime, but in the spring and the summer, he's busting his butt on a tractor, on an ATV, tending fence, and what we would otherwise respect and admire as a blue collar, working family maintaining a rural farm in Pennsylvania, the fact that they don't have beef cattle and the fact that they're somehow now raising whitetail, all of a sudden they're a bad guy because they charge people,
Yeah.
That to me doesn't carry any weight at all.
Well, the hard work thing, a typical day here, right? Even during the season when they've got clients coming in hunting, guides are here an hour and a half before daylight,
Yep.
meeting their clients, getting everybody ready, get them loaded up, figure out what stand you're going to go to. They sit till late morning, get out, come back, maybe grab a quick bite to eat of breakfast with their client, but then the guides leave.
Taking people to and from the airports.
And then, or they're going and they're feeding up. There's so many things that they have to do to keep
shipping heads and taking stuff to the taxidermist.
Yeah, there's so many things that they have to do on the day-to-day operations, just normal stuff. Today they were unloading bales of alfalfa and doing that and getting the deer fed, and then you work all afternoon to do that. Then you come back in time to pick your clients up to go sit for the evening.
Yep.
Then your client shoots one. Then they're cleaning the deer for you. They're deboning it. They're getting it ready for you to pack up and ship out. And then
caping it out for the
they're
taxidermist, which
caping
is
it out for the taxidermist.
very intricate.
Time consuming. And so, you know, can't say enough about Hayden. Last night he was helping somebody else that had killed one and had to fly out this morning, and he was out of here. He didn't leave here till 11:30 last night, cleaning deer, getting things ready to go, and
Didn't leave out of here till 8 o'clock tonight.
yeah. So these guys, it's not. I don't know. I think a lot of people think that it's just super simple. It's super easy. It's glamorous. Let me just show up. And for the client, it can be. You can show up and you don't have to do it. But for the people that are running the thing, you think about all the logistics behind it, getting feed coordinated to make sure that they have the right amount of feed coming in and doing all that stuff. And then they've got to work in sometime. They've got to figure out the genetic stuff. You know, they've got to kind of play around with that stuff too. It's just a ton of work.
Yeah, I don't think I fully realized, you know, the undertaking that an operation like this is, and all I have is respect for the family and for the people that run it. I mean, like I said, they're recognized in this industry, which is a very niche industry, and getting more and more niche as these rules and regulations for CWD and other things start getting tighter and tighter, and they start breaking off into these islands, you know, of white-tailed deer within the individual states because they've shut down interstate transport of deer and different things. But still on a national and world stage, you know, these guys are doing it year after year after year. The food here was fantastic.
Miss Cindy was cooking for us the last couple of days, and she crushed it.
It was outstanding.
She crushed it, yeah.
Yeah, we had all kind of good food. We'll throw some footage in there. But even just the people that were here this week, you know, they were down to earth people. You know, obviously they came to spend some money on a product, you know, on a deer that they couldn't otherwise get elsewhere. And that's one of the things I want to touch on just a little bit is, you know, this hate for either people who kill deer in a high fence or the high fence operation themselves is this disdain and this vitriol against them as somehow that's not hunting, or that it's inferior, or that anyone should be able to browbeat somebody else because they worked hard, they earned a living, and they decided that they wanted to come here to this and partake in the services that they offered. You know, first of all, it's really nobody's business what anyone chooses to do or not to do. But really, what they've done here is what every single whitetail hunter in the country, if they're honest with themselves, wants to do at their property, which is control their variables and to grow trophy deer that they would be proud to shoot and show off to their friends. And that's what they've done here, essentially. And they've carved out a market where they're able to make it sustainable and earn a living and you know, build a business around it. But, you know, any person who hunts has a lease or has property of their own. If they could put a fence around it and guarantee that they had good quality nutrition, that they had good health of their herd and good genetics and could bring in some different genetics and control only shooting, you know, mature 4.5-year-old bucks or older, this is the kind of operation that they would ultimately want to run. Yet when someone has done that,
it's the same old thing, man. Like, if I don't have it, if I can't do it, then I'm going to hate the people that can.
Yeah.
And it's not just in this; it's in every arena of life that you see, right?
That's true.
And that's why you've got the Karens online that are keyboard warriors that are going to blow somebody up over something that they have no earthly idea about. And I just think you can't get hung up on that kind of stuff. It's futile. I mean, you can spin your wheels trying to figure people out, but at the end of the day, it's not worth it.
You can't rationalize with irrational people, and most people don't think about what they believe or why they believe it anyway. And hurting people hurt people, and they're just looking to be mean and spread hate. But I mean, you've been here twice. I've seen the pictures. You've told me stories. I've seen the videos. I've held the deer that you harvested here, which are fantastic. And as close as we are, and as much as we've talked about this place, it just doesn't quite do it justice.
That's what I've told people. That like I said before, I try to explain it. You can't really explain it. I can tell you about it, show you the pictures. You can hold, see the deer, all that. But it's a special setup. It's really, really cool.
So somebody who's never been, maybe somebody who's looking to kill a world-class whitetail and thinking about giving these guys a shot, got any advice for them?
I don't know. There's so many things that I would probably tell somebody. If I had it to do over again, I wouldn't wait as long. For me, it was one of those things, something I'd always wanted to do. I've got a older brother that's been up here a few more times than I have. And after the first time, same scenario. He's trying to explain it to me. You got to come with me. You got to experience it, whatever. And nah, I'll get to it. We'll get, and if I'm honest, probably there was a little like, it's a high fence. I don't know if I want to do that. But then I came and I experienced it. And so the first thing I would say is probably if you want to kill a big deer, and it doesn't even have to be like, it doesn't have to be a record buck. Their average deer here are better than what you're going to see most places. But just book it. Just book it. If you're gonna go spend your money, money's not easy to come by, no. Right? Like we all have to bust our butts to make the money that we can. And if you're going to spend your hard-earned money, number one, I'm a firm believer in spending my money with folks that I'm aligned with, and I'm aligned with this family. But then also, I don't know where you're going to go. Look, the proof is in the pudding, right? Like, they hold all the records. If you're going to spend your money, go to the place where they're with the family that's kind of leading the pack in this thing. So if I had to give somebody one piece of advice, just book it.
Yeah, and we do a lot of traveling and stuff all over the country, and have some plans to hunt different places in the future in the next coming years. But there's a lot to be said if you're going to spend the money and the travel and everything else, coming to a place where, again, you're not guaranteed success. You're hunting. There's a chance you could come here. It's a slim chance.
So let's talk about that, because you mentioned we sat in the stand last night and we saw 5 really good bucks. That's the first time I've been here. This is my 3rd time here. I've sat, I don't know, 15 times probably amongst these 3 different trips here. I've never had a night like we did last night.
Yeah, Hayden said that was very unusual.
Yeah, and I've had nights where we didn't see a deer. And for me, the first time I came up here, was kind of eye-opening. That's not what I expected. I expected when it got daylight that there would be deer all over us. And the first morning I was here, I don't think we saw a deer the first morning we hunted. And I was like, okay, this isn't quite what I thought it was going to be. And then I realized it is hunting. It's not killing.
Oh yeah. The properties, they specifically set up large tracts of bedding area that they don't go into, that they don't have stands in, that the deer can go and get away. And there's deer that they don't even know are here, that are naturally bred from the deer that are inside the different properties. And then they stick to cover. They don't come out to the food plots, and they don't come to the cameras. And sometimes a really nice buck will step out, and the guys have never seen it, don't know.
Yep. It happens a lot, actually. They've got trail cameras everywhere, obviously, so they have a pretty good pulse on what the inventory is.
They do.
And but every now and then one will walk out and they're like, we've never seen that deer. Where'd that deer come from?
Yeah, and that's just due to the large expanse of the property, and then the little pockets of places that they can get away, and they're not in a small little pen where you can just step in and see them,
right,
and survey every deer on the property. That deer that you shot this afternoon was a completely natural deer. It was not a pen raised deer. It was not a artificially inseminated deer. It was a completely natural buck that was born and raised inside the property.
Yep.
Very typical, very nice buck. Congratulations, by the way.
Yeah.
That was fun to video and fun to shoot. Very, very cold, but
very cold.
So we're gonna head out of here tomorrow. But just while we had this venue and while we had this opportunity, just wanted to sit down and kind of have a real talk about what this place is, and then kind of what this place isn't. Because a lot of people watch YouTube videos and they listen to podcasts and stuff, and they just don't quite know what to expect. And the price that some of these folks are going to be looking to pay, not including their travel or anything else, you want to kind of have a good idea of what it is that you're getting into.
Sure. Yeah, it's not insignificant.
So
it's not insignificant.
I hope one day to come back to be behind the gun.
For sure, we're going to do it.
Going to work some off duty and plan and make some be intentional about putting some money away to come up here and experience this experience, regardless of even just killing the deer. Was worth it. This saved our New Jersey hunting trip. I mean,
yeah,
we were looking at 3 solid days of rain and nocturnal bears, and kind of spinning our wheels, looking like we were going to head back with tag sandwich with our tail between our legs, and the opportunity to come a little bit towards the house and to get up with these guys for a couple of days kind of saved the trip.
Yeah. If you guys are looking to, that's what I would tell your audience, is that if they're looking to do something like this, check these guys out. You can find them online, Quest Haven. They'll also be at the SCI show in Nashville in January. They'll have a very impressive booth there, I can assure you. It's very impressive. And so if you're able to go to that would be a great way to meet these guys.
Yeah. Well, man, appreciate your time. It's about time to hit the sack, get ready to go in the morning. But anyway, if you've made it this far, I appreciate you watching. And I hope you enjoy this. This is the first kind of sit-down chit-chat that I've done like this. But I think it's important to convey information, especially when I think it might be helpful for you guys. It was a great treat for me, and I'll definitely be back. So until next time, take care. God bless.